The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to She Is Shenomenal. I am your host, Tasha Champion, the Shenomenal coach of Champion Empowerment. Always teaching you to love the champion you are. And I'm going to keep this super short, super sweet, because we have such a great show tonight with some incredible women. This is my season finale. I can't believe it's been a full season of She Is Shenomenal. I've had just some incredible women and a few men that have joined me on this journey, and I'm excited that this is the close of this season. I'm even more excited for what's to come in season 2. But I said I was going to keep it short, sweet, and that is my promise. So get ready for just like an explosive show. I have 3 of my loves, 3 of my Shenomenal faves, 3 of my Shenomenal co-authors, 3 of my mentors, my confidants. Like, these 3 ladies are just a joy and love and light within themselves. So they are racing the closing of this season. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some love. We're going to have some laughter. So keep it right here as we get ready for the season finale of She Is Shenomenal. And I will be right back with my incredible guests. Welcome back. You guys, please forgive me. We are having crazy weather where I am. So I am really crossing my fingers and praying that we have a very smooth show in terms of the internet. But for now, we are not going to hold up anything else. I want to bring in my incredible guests today. I have Mika Morris, Sherelle Edie, and Denisha Jeter. Let's bring those fabulous Shenomenal women into the studio. excited about this show. For those that continue to support this show and you watch, you have absolutely seen these three ladies on my show. Denisha was my very first guest, and it's so funny because I'm going to be a little bit honest here. I'm always honest. But when I go back and watch that very first episode, my interview with Denisha was fine, but the beginning of the show, I could see my nerves of like, oh my God, this is my first show. What are people going to think? What am I going to think? Like, and I could see it. So I've enjoyed watching the growth happen. Sherelle Edie, she was on a very emotional show, physically functioning but mentally draining, and she just talked about dealing with life. Hey Shantae, hey beautiful. Hey Nikki. She talked about just, hey Johnny, being just living day to day and still having to function after losing her mother, but life still happens. And how do you balance that? And it was a very beautiful show. And then I had Mika Morris on. We closed out the year in 2022 with how can you really manifest what you want in 2023. And then she came back and interviewed me for my birthday episode. She was the host of She Is Shenomenal. So it was a lot of fun. As you guys may know, all three of these ladies are part of the Amazon #1 best-selling anthology book, Phenomenal Women. They have incredible stories. As y'all know, I do not do a formatted show. So what we're going to do is you're just going to dive in. There y'all go. See right there. Go to Shenomenal.com and get that book. You go to Shenomenal.com/co-authors. You can see all of my co-authors and order their specific books. But I don't do a scheduled show like in terms of like we're going to talk about this and this and this. We're just going to go with the flow because these three are incredible, phenomenal, just wonderful women. So without further ado, we're going to dive in. So I'm going to start with just the way it is on my screen. I'm going to start with you, Mika. Introduce yourself really quick. We're just going to go around.
Okay, so I'm Mika. I am a mother, a wife, a friend, a confidant. I will inspire you to be great. You will not be in my presence being mediocre. It just is what it is. Like, I'm that girl.
That you are, Denisha.
So I'm Denisha Jeter. I'm also a wife and mother, a nurse turned entrepreneur. And just like Mika, yeah, you're not gonna be in my presence with the craziness. You gotta come with it or don't come at all.
Yes, Miss Sherelle.
Hey, everybody. I am Chef Sherelle Edie, also known as Chef She. I too am an entrepreneur, a very proud co author of Phenomenal Women, a survivor of many, many things past, and a hopeful person of my fantastic future with these ladies.
Yes. Do y'all see why I tell y'all it's so important who you surround yourself by? Like I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs. I'm surrounded by mothers. I'm not married, but I'm surrounded by women who have beautiful, bold, fierce, loving relationships. So I get to see that. So it's so important who you surround yourself by. So we're gonna I'm just going to kind of circle. We're going to start it off a little bit heavier so then we can lighten it immediately up. Prior to the book, Sherelle, you had not dealt with a major loss as Mika and Denisha had, and then not long after you did. So just kind of starting with you, because I know your loved one got to read the book. How has it been since, because you really gave a lot of love, hey Erin, to your mom and what she's been. I've known her, since I was 15 or 16, but just tell us kind of how things have been. It's been a year.
Yes, it's been a year. Actually, technically, it was Super Bowl Sunday, but the actual date was the day after, was February 13th. And the year has been an emotional roller coaster. I'll be really honest with you. I have good days and bad days. What I have to say is that my mom's spirit continues to push me forward, and honestly, really, really knowing my Shenomenal co-authors, um, Mika and Denisha's story, I saw what it could look like on the other side, because they had been through what I was just walking into at the time. And so um, knowing that there was going to be a better day really helped me get through. Um, as you well know, February 13th was just a week ago. And so instead of sort of wallowing in my own self pity, which is actually what I envisioned the year anniversary to be, I did the polar opposite. We had a totally buck wild, out of control sports book Super Bowl in my house. There was 6 TVs with Super Bowl. We had the backyard tinted. I cooked everything that I could think of. There was people and love and fun, and we did a little squares gambling on the game. There was a DJ Reminisce was here, DJ Donna My Love was here, and kept the party going, kept the halftime party going. People were involved after the Super Bowl, and that was really the homage, paying homage to my mom. That's the way she would have wanted me to spend the day, and I didn't shed a single tear, which is not what I envisioned. Now, the next day, the 13th, I completely canceled it. Like, I just shut down. No phone, no business, no nothing. And I let myself feel what I was going to feel. And I'm back in the kitchen with my skeezy song.
I'm going to jump to Mika, because in the book, you talked about the loss of your child. And then at the second annual Shenomenal Women's Brunch, you just came through and ripped the floor open with ways that everyone could deal with loss. And it was so eloquent. It was so loving. It was so powerful. How did you move from loss to being able to write about it, to being able to inspire others through your story?
Because I literally think that our journey in life is literally not about us. And so while it was the most devastating loss for me, it literally taught me that, okay, we're not getting out of here alive. So how do we deal with it? And so I felt like when people would see me years later and they would hear that I lost my son, they'd be like, wow, you don't look like it. I'm like, well, what is that supposed to look like? Because honestly, we're all going to go through a loss that's super painful, and literally the person you're sitting next to or going to work with every day, somebody's going through it, right? I don't know how it's supposed to look. Is it supposed to look really, really bad? Are you supposed to lose your mind? So I was starting to think that, okay, we just don't talk about it enough, and we just don't know that you are going to live after that painful loss, and you can actually not feel guilty about living. You can live. I mean, I remember once I was going through that, the minute that I started to smile, that was embarrassing for me. Like, how are you smiling and your son is gone? The guilt of still living. So once I started to put that into perspective and deal with it, I felt like God was going to use this as a ministry for me. Like, too many people would come up to me and say, wow, I'm so sorry about you. You don't look like it. And, you just, how do you have that glow? Well, I have the glow in knowing that, one, his spirit never dies. My grandson was born 3 years ago. Literally, that's my son. And, and I can't say for sure, but he has his whole face and his whole demeanor. And, it's weird how spirit just never dies. And it's like a butterfly. If I'm having one of those days and then I see a monarch butterfly, that's my son letting me know everything is good. I'm good. So your loved one is always with you. Spirit never, ever, ever dies. So I don't even know what the question was again.
You might not have known, but you answered it. So I'm going to move to you, because then, I let spirit flow, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But in the book, you talked about how your mother was like, she was strictly like, I am providing for you guys. And through different interviews, you've talked about how much more you learned about yourself and about your mom after her passing. What's the biggest thing you've learned about your mother since her transition into her eternal life?
I understand more. My mother was a fighter, and I mean literal fighter, like hit you if you say something crazy. And I didn't understand why she was just always popping off. Like she just had no chill whatsoever. And like I said, I didn't know my mother before me and my sister. Like I didn't know her life before that. And so from different people, my mother been through a lot, prior to having us. And she had been abused, and she had been mishandled by her family. And she just came out swinging, and she wasn't going to allow, especially after having us, she wasn't going to allow any of that to happen to us. So she was going to fight any and everybody to protect us. And I didn't get that. I just knew that my mother was crazy. Her nickname was Go Crazy At, though, because that's just what she did. And it was kind of embarrassing at times, but now that I know the history of why she's like that, I give her a little more grace now because I understand, like, it was a protection, not only for us, but well, for her, it was for us, me and my sister. She wasn't going to allow anybody to do the things to us that was done to her.
Right, right. I appreciate you guys sharing so vulnerably and honestly, because for us to start the show like that, and again, it wasn't like prearranged, somebody needed to hear each message that you gave, so that I think that was so important. I'm going back to Denisha. What is something that you learned in the book that you've continued to carry with you, whether it was your chapter or someone else's?
I've pulled a lot from each chapter. I know that for more than anything, that we're resilient, and sometimes we just need reminders, how to move forward. I told Mika this. I referred back to her chapter a lot because right during that year that we were writing, I was dealing with grief, and I didn't know how to move on from that, losing my mother, and then having to put these words about her, in this story. And so, like I said, when I read her story particularly, I just was like, dang, you know what I mean? She's lost her son, her child. I couldn't even like, your mom is one thing, but your child is something
Totally.
unimaginable, and for her to be able, like I said, I've been around her, and like she said, she laughs and her energy is just amazing. And for her to come, out of that, and not, I didn't know her story until I read it, but we had interacted, but prior to, whatnot. And just to know that she was okay, and I'm gonna be okay. And just like Sherelle said, she watched me lose my mother a few years ago, and then when she had to do, and I saw the looks, I would see pictures of Sherelle, and I would reach out to her. I saw, she was smiling, but I saw the pain behind her eyes, and I would just say, "Sister, I know, I feel you," because you try to move on, you try to just hang on by dear life, and sometimes we just need each other, just to pull each other, from that, and just recognize, it's going to be okay. So more than anything, the resilience, and just getting to a place where life is going to be different, and it's okay to grieve, it's okay to be sad, but you can't sit in that, and you can't stay there, and life is going to go on, and you have to find a way to move past that.
Right. Mika, what about you? What have you learned from either your own or one of the other chapters that you continue to either embrace or live by or share? Like, what's something you learned?
I've learned that, first of all, the whole book is amazing. Like, it's a story in it for everybody doing everything. If Tasha, you can recall, I just gave someone your number who's actually going through breast cancer right now. But I remember reading someone's story and how the young girl in her was, the mother tried to shield her from life's lessons, right? And I understood how, wow, all of us have been in that predicament where the adults in our lives didn't think that we were mature enough to handle the reality of what was going on in our life. And when I read that, that was deep for me because I'm still raising little girls, and I wanna do it different. You know what I'm saying? So that book has so many different tools. with so many different people, and it's just that little story. And I'm sure everybody's going to get something different from each story. But my takeaway from that was I got to stop. We have to stop trying to shield our little people, because that's what they are. They're little people, from life, because life is going to happen, and they're going to be looking at us like, well, what happened when such and such left the home, and nobody talked about it, and so we need to start having real conversations with our little people.
Because we're shielding the child, forgetting that they're going to grow into the adult.
Yes, and how do they get
along?
Or when it happens to them, like it happened, and because you wind up repeating the same lessons because you didn't see it done right anyway. If you can see it done right or act right, like you said something really powerful, Denisha, in our interview. You said, I don't need to go through it to understand it. If somebody shows me that this didn't work, that's good for me. So if you kind of communicate those things to each other versus hiding everything and really having real effective communication. And I think that's what Shenomenal Woman does. It gives us those tools. It gives us different ways to see things, different perspectives. And it also teaches us that we're never alone. Somebody's going through something, and it's something for everybody in that book.
Right. Thank you. Sherelle, same question. Like, what is something, whether it's your chapter or another, what is something you took away from Shenomenal Women?
100% that you can choose to smile. That you can choose to let those scratched up knees and elbows and foreheads heal. That you can choose to stand up, that you don't have to wallow in what used to be, that you can still create your path, that you can still live that life that God put out for you, no matter what obstacle you ran into. It taught me that I took so much strength from that, thinking that, just like we've all said, thinking that you're by yourself, you're the only one that's suffering from some sort of tragedy. We've all had it at different periods of time, and coping skills that you learn from all of my Shenomenal co-authors have really helped me to move forward in this life. The writing process was much more powerful than I really thought it would be, and it was really scary. I thought people were going to judge me after they read my chapter, but the fact that we all stood holding hands, completely exposed to the world, and said, "This is what I've been through, and here I am."
Did you guys get? Because I got this a lot. Like, somebody would read the chapter and they would go, "I didn't know you dealt with this," or "I didn't know you experienced that." This, like, were you guys getting that from people that really know you, and they were still trying to learn something new about you?
Right. My best friend Shantae contributed to the book, and it was things in her chapter. And I've known her since I was 14. I think I was, around during a period of time that she wrote about, and I had absolutely no idea what was going on. So even just amongst us, it was like, wow, I learned something new about my best friend.
And I got
yes.
Like, Sherelle, I already had respect for you, but it's just magnified 10% and 10,000%. And the word that kept coming to their lips was, "You're so strong. You're so strong." And I'm like, that is the last word I would use to describe myself. I'm going to embrace that a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to just really jump, because talking about this word strong, and there was a Facebook post by a young lady that Denisha and I went to school with, and she was saying, "I'm no longer going to subscribe to strong. Like, if I don't want to be strong, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to do that." Like, she was just saying, and it's funny that I read this post, because I've been saying for the past several months, I really want people to stop identifying what we go through as, "Oh, you're strong." And then when something happens, they're like, "Girl, just be strong." It's like, well, what classifies me as being weak? So what is your definition of strong? And do you feel like you have to live up to this standard of strong. Starting with you, Mika.
Okay. In my house, I am the tough girl, the strong girl. Like she don't have any emotions because she got to wear this little strong hat. Look, I have to tell my kids all the time, I am as sensitive as you guys are. Okay, I am the most feminine thing. You can tell that outwardly, but I have to be the tough mom. I have to be the disciplinarian. I have to be. But I've been having this conversation a lot lately where I'm tired of being strong. And,
Hello.
and that's why I'm in a relationship
Hello.
now. I needed a helpmate. I don't want to be strong anymore. I don't want to carry the weight of the world. I want someone that I can go into his arms and I can just be feminine and be a young woman and just be me and not have to be strong.
Yes.
We had to be strong. We
Yes.
come from women that have had to be strong.
Mhm.
Grandmothers, generations of women. So
Mhm.
it's not that we want to be strong. We kind of just we have to just toughen up, Buttercup. In my day-to-day life, I'm probably the most prissy thing. But when it comes to real world shit, yes, I'm strong out of necessity, not because I choose to be. It's just that it's required. But
So if you could, I'm sorry, if you could choose another word, if we could like let
brave,
go of the word strong, what?
amazing, brilliant, the shit.
Right, exactly. Pharrell, where's your level? Like, what do you feel about this world? Shantae says, I'm definitely tired of being strong. My daughter says over being strong, and
Over
y'all know my daughter.
I'm so over it. Some days it would be nice for somebody to come to me and say, you know what? I got you today.
I'm sorry, Paul. 1 second. Can we bring that post back up from John Roberts? He says almost two dozen unique and compelling stories, many autobiographies that should be mandatory reading for young women of color.
Say it, Johnny.
Say that. Yes. Listen, find all the women of color that we can reach, and let's go ahead and get out there and do that. So, yes, Phenomenal Women, you guys have to get this book, not because we are telling you to, but because once you open the book and start reading, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I needed this book. Absolutely. Okay, sure. I'm sorry. Now let's go back to you being strong.
No problem.
Where's the soft life? Yes. Okay, go.
Can we reach out in there? Can I subscribe to softlife.com or something? Because I am. It's like you said, Mika. I am tired of being strong, but it's woven in our DNA somehow. Somehow we develop an innate ability to rise to the occasion whenever a situation is put in front of us. Do we want to be that all the time? Absolutely not. But guess what? People want to be around you because they know that you're not going to let the light get cut off. Mm-hmm. They know that you're going to make sure your rent is paid. So they're trying to stay next to this strength. Like, no, I don't have it today. Can I get, can you got 5 on it? Something.
My daughter says we have to create it, that soft life. We have to create it for ourselves. Now, Denisha, you were talking on Mika's podcast. You said I had a kid in my teens, 20s, and 30s. So you started as a teenage mom. You had a tumultuous relationship. You got married out of the necessity of being 30, and then you took a step back to really learn about yourself. Mm-hmm. Did you feel an obligation to stay strong, and how did you release that to just learn who Denisha was? And we got about 1 minute before we need to take a commercial break, so not rushing you, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, you know what, I'm still learning how to not be so strong. I have an amazing husband, and he stops me. He's my reminder. I told you, he put like little cards around, reminding me, take a break. You're wonderful. You're this. I sometimes I don't even look at the cards. It's so into my, daily routine. But, I have somebody that like you said, I can lean into, you know what I mean? I can just put it all down. I need those kind of reminders. I haven't really mastered how not to be strong. And I want to be resilient and resourceful and all those things. Like I don't even want I want to rename it. I don't want to be strong. I'm resilient. You know, I'm not gonna let this ship, you know, sink at all. But my husband, like I said, my husband is my soft spot. You know what I mean? He pulls
Right.
me, you know, just reminds me like, come eat, stop. Just stop what you're doing, come and eat. Like put the phone down, turn the TV off, go take you a bath. You know, when I'm in the bathtub, leave your mom alone. That's her time, you know. So I have a partner that, you know, reinforces my me time and, you know, and pours into that because he knows that I need it, because I just don't know how to turn that switch off.
Right, exactly. I'm going to read a couple of these comments. Kwame says Black women are the strongest beings because they have had to be, which is what we said. I pray one day our Black men and the world as a whole can do better to take care of you. We honor you, queens. Thank you, Kwame. Shantae says, which is a very key point. They know, but I'm literally in survival mode. And that is where a lot of this stay strong, be strong, you got this, you got to be. Sometimes we want to just say, F it, I ain't trying to be strong. Can I just fall down, let this crap go, drop, open my hands and say, can somebody else do it? But a lot of times we are stuck being in survival mode, especially if you are a single mom and you're trying to make every end meet the end. You are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are robbing Paul to pay Peter back. It's like all these things where we are really stuck in survival mode. And a lot of times we attract relationships that need surviving because we're in survival mode. And so we're attracting the wrong things in our energy based on what our focus is. So before we go to break, let me just read this last comment by Priscilla, my mommy. His expression of tired of being strong is probably appealing to many. That's an honest assessment of how we sometimes truly feel. Amen. It really is. So for the rest of this show, we're going to let off the strong. We're going to take it off, pull off that armor. We're going to just, after we take this commercial break, we're going to come back and just dive into our loving, soft, feminine, resilient self. So let's take a quick break and we'll be back as I continue to interview these amazing Shenomenal women. All right, welcome back. We are chatting with three of my favorite Phenomenal women, Morris, Anisha Jeter, and Sherelle Edie, aka Chef Sherelle. And let me drop something on y'all. Chef Sherelle is the executive chef of the Shenomenal retreat coming up in October 6th through 8th. So you definitely want to be there. She gets to really showcase some things that she loves to do, which is cooking. And she's been feeding me since I was 16 years old. So you definitely want to be at the Shenomenal Women's Retreat so you can get a taste and a vibe of Chef Sherelle. So in coming back, I want to jump to friendships, support. I'm sure some other things can come up. I struggled with support growing up as a child. I didn't feel supported in a lot of areas. And what that did was it then made me, number one, subscribe to this. I have to do it all for myself. And then two, it made me not even recognize when someone was being supportive because I couldn't identify it because I was so used to being like, oh, you don't support, like I'm not supported, I'm not supported. You three have been super supportive in my life because I am real good for calling you guys last minute. See, Kwame, it's not only you. I am really good for calling you guys last minute, and they're just like, okay, what do you need, Tasha? Yes, we got you. So, starting with Mika, what does a supportive friend mean to you? Like, how do you define giving or accepting support from friends?
Oh, I just ask. I ask because I know I deserve it. I know I'm that friend. Um, and honestly, I feel like I'm at the highest place that I could probably possibly be in my life. So I expect the same in return from the people that's around me. So I feel like at some point I was where I didn't trust the people in my space. I didn't trust, like, I remember moving to Atlanta as a young woman and like having nothing and too proud to ask for help. Mm-mm. Now when I need help, I don't care. I ask because the worst I'm gonna get is a no. And then if I get one no, I continue until I get my yes. So, and I don't hold people accountable to their no's. Because my no is no, and I need for your no to be a no, and it's okay, you know. So I think once you start that self love trip, you're good. You're good in everything about life.
Right. So, what's a message that you would give to women who hold so deep to their independence of not feeling? No, let me rephrase. They are afraid of the rejection, so they don't ask for the support.
Honestly, it starts with self love. If you don't love yourself enough, you don't trust anybody. You can't love someone outside of yourself enough to trust that if they said no, it didn't mean like, oh, she don't like me. You know, when you like yourself, a no just means no, and that's it. You can keep going. But when you have low self esteem and you're not loving yourself enough, a no will kill you. And so
Take
that's what
you
keeps you from asking. That's what'll keep you stuck. That's what keeps you, in horrible relationships. So you have to really just deal with that relationship with self and self care and self love. And once you start to love yourself, God's going to do the rest. He's going to bring every good thing to you. The good friends, the people that will tell you, "Hey, did you need any help with anything?" And you're gonna be like, "Yeah." So I think self love is everything about your life starts with self. And that's the thing. It's like we're here for us by God, but God's like, just come back to me. Once you come back to me and bring me everything that you feel, all the insecurities, and I build you up, you're good because I got you.
Right, right. Now, one thing, there's a very beautiful, beautiful lady out there. We all know who she is. And she now has her products everywhere. She's got her book. She's been on TV. Gorgeous, beautiful Black woman. And I see so much support for her. I see everybody posting her products. Everybody is like, oh my God, support this Black business, support this Black business. Here's where I have the problem. Nothing with her, nothing with her products. It's because I see some of those very people posting get this product, and yet they have friends with products and services that they don't support. So, with all three of you guys, I know how much you support your friends. Sherelle and Denisha, I specifically know how far you guys have driven to support people. I know that, like, I've seen things in your homes that you have purchased from people. Mika, I've seen things in your home that you've purchased from events that I've had. So, I know you're supporting like Black businesses. But can you guys, Denisha, starting with you, can you express the importance of Black women supporting Black women in service, in product, in sharing a name? Because y'all know, like, I'm a network queen. if I know something that you do, trust me, the world is gonna know it if I like it. So, what does it mean? Talk to other Black women out there. What does it mean to show up and be supportive?
Um, I'm I'm really big on that. Matter of fact, like everything I have on right now, it was somebody, it's a black owned business. This outfit, the earrings, had everything. I just if my friend is selling t-shirts, I'm gonna buy a t-shirt. If they, I'm a post, I'm a repost it and highlight them. I don't necessarily require it from other people because I know if I support it, mine is gonna come. You may not come from that person, but it's gonna come. You know what I mean? I don't do things just for, just to be trying to like, to keep tabs and to have that person do something back. I know my blessing's gonna come tenfold. So, we have to. I mean, even with, I know the person that you're talking about, even with that, I think that she's amazing. You know what I mean? We should support her products and go and, and buy her things. And two, sometimes with friends, it maybe it's just not your thing. But if you just share it, repost it and stuff like that, that just may be enough. But I don't really get too caught up in, trying to keep tabs on who's supporting me, who's not, because I've been doing what I've been doing for years, and it keeps going. It's word of mouth. If my friend, not necessarily my friend, I have the people that support me have been in my life for a very long time, and I have my circle who supports me. It's the people that call themselves your friends. They show up and stuff like that. I don't get too hung up in that because I know who my core is. I know who I can go to. I know I can count on, and I don't really get caught up in who's not doing what, because I know my blessing's gonna come either way.
Absolutely. Sherelle, same thing. Like, how are you being supported in business with friends, and would you how would you want other Black women to show up in that? Like the way that you've been supported by your friends, talk to other Black women that don't see it. Like, how can we bridge that gap to go, like, look, let's all support one another?
Absolutely. Well, I think we should all just kind of rest on the old adage, treat people like you want to be treated. Now, you're not necessarily going to get back that treatment from the same person that you treated with all the love and respect and kindness in the world, because I just don't believe karma works that way. And it would definitely go back into, like Denisha was saying, keeping tabs. Well, you didn't support me, but I supported you. That is not a concern whatsoever. And knowing your circle, right? I don't have a circle. I have a period. Like, it's like I don't even have a circle. My period is so small, but I know that I don't even have to ask my periods for help. They're right here with me, supporting me, driving for me, posting, reposting, sharing a word. As a matter of fact, it's kind of, I don't want to say sad to say, I don't think I mean that, but quite frankly, my clients give me a lot more support than some of the people that claim to be my friends. Because they know my product and they know my brand and they know how serious I am about putting myself out there and representing my brand, myself. They know what they're going to get when they get me.
Right.
Tasha, you were saying, be a part of the retreat because you know what I'm going to bring. The people that refer me know what I'm going to bring. I may not be the cheapest or even the best, but you will get me if you call me. So that's the difference. And the support is the same concept. I really believe that we as Black women should 100% say, you know what, forge ahead, be brave. I'm here for you. I may not buy anything, but if I know someone who needs your services, I'm going to let them know that you're putting it out there.
Yes. Mika, going to you, what is something you feel Black women are missing within themselves where it's like, hey, like we talked about self-care, don't forget your self-care. And I always tell people, like, don't forget to rest, not just sleep, but rest. What is something you want Black women to know that they gotta really bring into their life?
I think, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what you were just talking about. When we look at who's not sometimes we'll be so focused on who's not supporting us that we miss out on who's actually supporting us.
Correct.
We have
Yes.
a habit of self-sabotaging our own self with our own thinking, thinking that somebody owes us something because we come from that a little bit, you know. Um, oh, woe is me. I'm a victim because why my friends ain't go. I see they went out and bought such and such as product. Nobody ain't support me. But what about all the people that did support you?
I
So
did.
we start to, as Black women, focus on every good thing that happens for us. More good things are coming to us. Stop focusing on what hasn't happened, what hasn't showed up, who hasn't showed up. Celebrate everybody who's for you. Celebrate all the wins that you have, and more wins are coming. And we just have a weird way of looking at the wrong things. You know, stay focused on every good thing, and more good things are coming. Period. Point blank. It's just no other way around that.
Right. Yes. I love how you put that. Going to Denisha, define sisterhood. What does sisterhood mean to you?
Mm. Just showing up. You know what I mean? Showing up when you can. I know sometimes we all got our lives, you know, what's going on, but sometimes, you know, we just gotta show up for each other and be supportive of, you know, if small things. You know, my friend bought a house. She lived 2 hours away. I'm driving 2 hours to celebrate her. You know what I'm saying? She want to have something. I know she'll do it for me. So we just gotta show up for each other. Another thing, I told it was Samantha. We went to high school with her. She talked to my daughter at a we were at a funeral, and she talked to my daughter. My daughter wasn't really on the greatest terms, but she spoke to my daughter, and she you know, just dropped some nuggets. And I don't know that she knew that we were having some difficulty, but my daughter held on to every single word. And when I saw her again, like, my daughter has made a 100% turnaround. You know what I mean? She's really gotten on it, took all her advice. She's like a college advisor. So my daughter
Yeah.
checked into school. She asked me for her number, and you know, she's been in contact with her. So I say that's sisterhood. You know, like, sometimes we have to step in and fill in those gaps, you know what I mean, with our children and the people around us, because no, but she wasn't listening to me. But because, you know, this woman saw something in my daughter, you know, and she just had a conversation, and it, you know, it sparked something in my, you know, in my child. So just with that, you know, I've spoken to Destiny, you know, I've been there, you know what I mean, with, and you know, and I've come to you about my daughter and stuff like that. So I think that's important, that, you know, we stand in the gaps of those things where sometimes we, you know, as parents or friends, we can't get to. And I know that you stand in the gap of friendships, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to, you know, like, referee some things. And so that, to me, defines sisterhood, just standing in the gap and just supporting those things that, you know, that needs to be supported at that time. It may not be a business. It just may be some personal relationships that you need, or difficulty relationships you need to get past. And we, you know, we stand in those gaps and handle those things.
Absolutely. Sherelle, you look like you were amening with your head, but it also had something you wanted to piggyback and add to it. So have the floor.
Absolutely. I think what came to mind for me was love me anyway, whether my light is on or off, whether I'm shining or it's absolutely pitch black, whether I've, you know, cooking for Usher or cooking for my neighbor. Shine on me anyway. Sisterhood should be about loving my heart, not my place in the world. That's what sisterhood means to me.
Yes. Now, I want to give you guys some space to just really brag on yourself, because we were all raised in this belief of you shouldn't talk about yourself. It can make others feel bad about themselves. Don't brag on the things that you're doing. And really what it is that we were taught to minimize our greatness because no one showed us how to be proud of the things that we were accomplishing, because we were only told that it could hurt somebody else. So as women, I really want us to get to a point where we can brag on ourselves. And trust me, there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and just being proud to celebrate yourself. But what I've learned is that your friends, your sisterhood, they're going to celebrate you not look at you and, oh, here she go bragging again. Listen, y'all got to be around people that celebrate your greatness and the good thing the things that you are super great at. So I'm gonna start with you, Sherelle.
Yes.
Give me 20 seconds of just bragging on Sherelle.
Listen, this amazing, phenomenal woman, she has been through some things, okay? And she does not look like what she has been through. And I am so proud of her. 30 years ago, I mean, I'm only 35, but 30 years ago, you could not have told me that I was, a 3 times over homeowner, business owner, entrepreneur, have helped other people start businesses. Um, Funny, smart, can burn a kitchen down. Okay. And I am the friend that you want to have. And I'm proud of that. I honor that. And I love my self-care moments, and I'm okay with being selfish, and I'm okay with not being strong today. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, unstrong woman. You all right.
Unstrong. Yeah, hashtag unstrong. Yes. Yes. Denisha, 30 seconds. Brag on all things Denisha right now, including my little your little nieces and
OMG. Well, I'll start with me first. Well, I am so proud. I was a nurse for 20 years and I walked out on faith. I was supposed to call and give my schedule, and I actually called and gave my letter of resignation. And I walked out on faith. And 6 months later, we had a business, and then, we were just kind of in one lane. And I said, I'm gonna just devote this time to the business. And in that 6 months, I just learned everything I need to, not needed to know, but learned everything I could learn in 6 months. And I landed my first contract on my own. And then from that was 2 years ago, and we've turned a company to a multi-million-dollar company. Just me and my husband. You know what I mean? So, again, just walking on faith and just believing in me, and always betting on, just betting on myself.
Yes.
I've always done that. I listen to spirit. I listen to, when God speaks, I listen. And it was getting really loud, and I moved on that. My family, like I said, my daughter has made an amazing turnaround. We was having some difficulties, from 2019 to 2021. It was so hard. And she's coming in, she's saying good morning to me every morning. We talking, and having just me and her dates and stuff like that. So I'm really just mending that relationship with my daughter. And then my little Tania, my little Tania.
Little
We
Tania.
love her.
Yes, we love little Tania.
It's so funny. I mean, this girl, when you say, the spirit, that's my mother. I'm telling you, because my mother was hilarious and crazy. This girl she's so crazy. So she has my mother's spirit, but she is just super smart and talented and just does everything great. And my amazing husband. What more can I say? I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed.
Yes.
Like
I
every
love
avenue of my life, I'm just thriving. And it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's very, very hard to just to keep anxiety away and just keep things straight and narrow. But I'm just surrounded by amazing people. I have great friends that check on me and make sure I'm good. So I am just blessed, and
I feel like I want to do this with Denisha.
Right, exactly. But Mika, we're gonna go to you. Brag on yourself for about 30 or 40 seconds or so, because then I want to make sure we get how people can contact and connect with you guys before. So this hour went by so fast, but brag on yourself for a minute.
Okay, my brag is this is my 50th year, so I'm super excited about that. I'll be 50 this year, and yeah, this first 50 years of my life has been, it's been a lot. But I feel like I'm about to rewind the time, because like I'm in the easy part of my life. I fully got all the lessons. I am so happy. I am happy. I'm doing sober stations with Mika Morris. The April and Tamika show is on hiatus, but we're never gone, because we love that space that we're in. I am the most loyal friend to ever have. I'm an amazing wife to my husband, but I also have the most amazing husband. God has truly just blessed me. But my kids, so I have this adult kid who challenges me and grow me still to this day with my grandkids, and then my little ones who, woo, I'm parenting so different right now. It's like,
Yeah.
what is this? But I love the growth in the space that I'm in. I love to grow daily, and literally that's where I'm at in my life. I'm understanding how easy life and how sweet life can be. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be literally whatever you decide to create for yourself on any given day. If I want to
Yeah.
sleep in extra long, I don't feel lazy. I don't feel tired. I get my rest. If I want to go here, there, wherever, I do it. I just go where the wind blows and I make it really just right here, you know. And I'm not saying I don't have challenges. I don't ever allow a challenge to make me feel away. So,
Exactly.
you know, I'm just thankful for you ladies. You know, we met during the pandemic, and the fact that every time I say yes, you guys are saying yes. So we keep, you know, running into each other. And I know that this relationship is going to do what it's supposed to do. God has placed us in each other's life for a purpose, and
Yes.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. Mika, really, really quick, give how people can connect with you.
Mika Morris. Mika Morris is my IG,
Instagram.
but Tamika Morris, TOMEEKA Morris.com. You can get the book there. You can find out some information from me there. And Sober Stations with Mika Morris on podcast, on YouTube, and you can hear the podcast.
Yes, beautiful. Denisha, really quick, tell people how they can connect with you.
So I'm on Facebook at Denisha Jeter. I'm also on IG as D underscore Duchess. That's DUTCHESS. And I also have a business page, TNT Photo Booth on Instagram.
Yes,
Beautiful. Chef Sherelle, tell everybody how they can connect with you.
absolutely. I am on Facebook and Instagram at Sherelle Edie. Also on Facebook and Instagram at The Love Events. And also on Instagram and Facebook at Chefs for Seniors LASD, which stands for Los Angeles South Bay. You'll see my shining face there.
All right. I did not think I didn't think I was gonna become emotional. Um, and as you guys are closing out, I felt the emotions just really setting in because each of you have been such an intricate part of my life, but more importantly, my growth. You guys specifically saw my life before and what I was dealing with. Sometimes you didn't even know because on the surface, I kept it like I kept that smile, like you're not gonna know what's going on with me, and I was hurting. And when I came out with that, you guys supported me. You were there for me. You were a yes for me, and I'm so eternally grateful for your love, your support, your friendship, and for always being a yes to my last minute ask. Um, for being a part of the book, but then just everyone that has tuned in every week or as many weeks as you could to support me. Many of you have shared out. She nominal. I've had an amazing time learning and growing myself during this time, meeting different women, being able to say, oh my God, you were on my show, but I need you to meet this person because you need to be on their show. Like, however, I can connect people. But I know I felt it at the end of 22, what God has planned. And y'all know it includes y'all, right? Just in case you know, it includes y'all.
Of course.
But
I already know.
that is coming. I know Kwame's about to be like, if you don't get off here, we almost at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. But thank you, Shanice. I love you immensely. She is an incredible friend. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in, for celebrating She Is Shenomenal, for being Shenomenal women yourselves. And we are going to really, really expand, embody, and grow everything that is Shenomenal within my brand and within yourself. We are taking it to the next level with our own businesses, celebrating each other while we celebrate ourselves. I love you all. Thank you for being with me this first season, and I will see y'all in season 2. Oh, and the entire first season is going to run as a podcast. I will let you guys know when the dates are going to drop so you can listen to the whole season on your favorite podcast station. Yes, I love you all. Thank you so much. Ladies, don't go anywhere. Bye, everybody else.
All right,